Hi friends, and welcome to our final class in our chakra series. So now that we have worked our way through every single major chakra in the energetic system, I thought it would be fun to finish this series with a class where we'll work with each chakra, and we're going to work with them this time from the crown down to the root. When we work with the energy in this direction, we're working with the manifesting current. And I know sometimes manifesting can sound very woo-woo, but today I want to present it to us in a more reasonable idea or manner, as in we all have ideas, right? And when we manifest those ideas, we concentrate the ideas into a dream, and we bring that dream down into our reality, into the earth plane. So that is what we're going to do today. Okay, we'll start at the crown and bring attention to each energetic center as we concentrate and focus our idea and our dream and work to bring it down to reality. Okay, so we are going to start standing today. You don't need any props. This is going to be a pretty gentle practice. We'll just be doing some different breathing techniques, some different poses where we'll be holding the stretches, holding our hands to the energetic centers, and things like that. So we will come down onto our knees for just a little bit. So if you want to have a blanket nearby for that portion, feel free to grab one. And when you're ready, meet me on your mat in mountain pose, Tadasana. So we're standing with feet hips width distance apart. We're activated through the legs. We're standing nice and tall, grounding down through the feet, connecting into that energetic root center. And as we lift tall up through the spinal column, crown of head is shining towards the sky. We allow all of our energetic centers to connect here. If you feel comfortable, you can close down your eyes for these first few moments, just to allow yourself to arrive here on the mat. So maybe taking a deep breath in through the nose, exhaling gentle sigh out of the mouth. 2 more times. Good. We're going to take a moment to connect into our crown chakra. So go ahead and bring both hands to rest on the top of your head, just beginning to bring awareness to this energetic center. As we talked about last week, the crown chakra is our most sort of spiritual and ethereal energetic center. And so the crown chakra is where we begin to notice ideas floating around, sort of out there in the ethers, is what I like to think. The crown chakra is where we connect to everything. So there's this infinite pool of ideas from which we can pull and begin to create our own dreams and our own reality. So just connecting into that idea of infinite thought, infinite space from which we can connect to. Really, there being no limitations on what we can think of and create. And then to start off practice from here, we're going to complete the crown chakra breath 7 times. So we've done this a couple times before. We want to bring the hands to heart center in prayer. And on an inhale, we're going to reach the fingertips up towards the ceiling as the gaze follows. And on the exhale, audible through the mouth, hands and arms open wide. Hands come back to heart center. We're going to do that 7 times. Let's begin. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 5 more. Last one. Good. Bring the hands back to prayer. From here, we're going to open our arms up into almost like a big cup or a V shape. Okay, so imagining our arms are this funnel, right? And we're starting to funnel ideas from the space above us down into our third eye. So this is where we start to focus our dreams. Okay, so picking the things that matter to us as they come to us and allowing ourselves to dream about them and envision them. Okay, so we're just going to hold our arms out into this V-like shape, and you can even imagine that you're starting to funnel these things down into your mind here. And while we're here, we're going to do something called Kapalabhati breath, which is a very powerful breath. We're going to passively inhale and forcefully exhale here, and using the diaphragm to assist. So if your arms are still up and they're already tired, maybe you take them down for a moment. That Kapalabhati breath is going to be so you forcefully exhale, and the inhale just comes around naturally, and it's kind of a quick pace. We're going to do this for about 30 seconds, and we're going to do it while we're holding our arms up, okay? So if you get tired or you get lightheaded, just pause, give yourself a moment, and then join back in if you'd like to, okay? Arms come out. We're going to inhale 3/4 of the way, and then begin. Good. Release the breathing technique. You can let the hands return down by your side. And again, close down the eyes here for a moment because we're starting to make our way down and we're coming into that third eye chakra. So as I said here, this is where we take those ideas and we sort of begin to focus them, and we start dreaming about them and elaborating on these ideas, right? So you can bring 2 fingers, your pointer and middle finger, to your third eye here, just to connect into that energetic center for a moment. This is where we start to envision our dreams. And then using that focus, we're going to come into tree pose from here. Tree pose requires focus, requires this internal stability, and we're going to use that to connect here to the third eye. So arm can come down by your side if you had your hands connected to your third eye. From mountain, we're going to slowly bend the right knee out in front of us, coming into one-legged mountain, flexing through the right foot, balancing here for a moment, and then with a steadiness and a focus, we're going to rotate the right knee out towards the side, and then bring the right foot to the ankle or the shin of the left foot. Finding that tree pose. You can bring your hands to prayer at heart, or maybe touch your thumbs to your third eye. Take just a few breaths here. And on an exhale, lower the hands and the foot down, shake it out. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. So preparing, standing in our traditional mountain pose. We're going to shift all of the weight into the right leg this time as we bend the left knee out 90 degrees in front of us. Okay? Taking a breath here, finding stability through that right leg. We're going to start to rotate the left knee out. And then with control, bring the left foot to the ankle or the shin of the right foot. From here, hands can come to heart again, or maybe third eye. Good. Slowly with control, lower everything back down. You can stay exactly as you are. I'm going to turn to my side for this next part so that you can see what we're doing. We're starting to move down again, and to make our way from third eye to throat chakra, we're going to come into another balancing posture that requires a lot of focus, a lot of strength. And if you've never done this before, that's okay. Give it a try. If it doesn't work for you, you'll just come down to kneeling into our toe crunch, okay? But what I would like for you to try today, if you feel physically able and willing, is we're going to try to come up onto our toes and then lower ourselves down to the ground while we're on our toes. So again, this requires some focus. This requires strength. And of course, if this is your first time, this is just a practice run, right? So you can bring your arms out in front of you for a little bit of counterbalance here. And we're going to come up onto our toes. Okay. From here, with control, we're going to start to squat down, but we want to stay on the toes as we lower our body down, down, down. Then this requires a lot of ankle mobility, so this may not be for everybody. You may want to use your hands to assist coming down onto your knees, or as you slightly lean the torso back, woo, we try to lower the knees down with control. So that takes a lot of strength. So once the knees came down though, since we were on our toes, we automatically come into our toe crunch. If you're like, Misty, no, that didn't work, that's fine. Come into your toe crunch, okay? And if you don't want to be in your toe crunch, you can just kneel on your heels. Okay. Continuing to focus that energy downward into the throat chakra, we're going to practice the throat chakra breathing technique with a hum on the exhale. So if you remember, that's where we're going to interlace our hands under our chin. As we inhale, the elbows are going to go out wide and up. And then as we exhale, the head's going to tilt back, but this time we're going to hum on the exhale. Okay, we're going to do it 7 times. And then if you're in that toe crunch, we're going to come out of the toe crunch after the 7th breath, okay? So let's begin. Okay, come off of those toes if you're still on them. And then go ahead and just find kneeling. And invitation here to close down the eyes for a moment. And maybe bring one hand right by the throat. And just connecting in with the center and realizing that as we take those ideas, we turn them into dreams. We take these dreams and we begin to plan and share our dreams with the world around us. So that's what happens here at the throat chakra, is that we communicate our dreams to the world. We communicate it to ourselves by getting clear on what we want and maybe starting to write things down, coming up with a plan, right? So just taking a moment to notice that here. Beautiful. You can release the hands. We're going to come into a tabletop posture for just a couple of moments here. So coming onto your hands and knees and taking a few cat-cows, just nice and slow. Inhaling to relax the belly, open the heart, tilt the chin and pelvis up. Exhaling to reverse. Good, 2 more. Good, come back to your neutral spine. And we're going to come into puppy pose from here. We're starting to move down again into the heart space. So as we start to make our way to puppy pose, you'll drop your elbows where your hands were. And then from here, slide one hand out and then the other hand as your forehead melts down towards the chest. Hips stay up towards the ceiling, trying to keep the hips stacked over the knees here. And we allow this nice big opening in the heart and the shoulders. Taking a few breaths here. Beginning to bring awareness to the heart, the center of everything, of our being, of our energy. Okay, from puppy pose, we're going to come into Sphinx. So I want you to shift your weight forward as you come onto the forearms and lower the hips down to the earth. Once the hips are down, lengthen each leg behind you, really giving you space in the lower back. And then firmly press into the forearms as you allow the heart space to shine forward, as if it's just shining through the shoulders here. Okay, we're going to take a few breaths here. As our dreams and ideas funnel down into our heart, this is where we start to connect with our why, right? Like, why do these dreams matter to us? Why are they important to us? What is it that's going to keep us going and working towards them? This is also where we start to develop relationships that we might need to bring our dreams into reality, right? It's hard to build a dream by yourself. Most times we need help. We need other people's help. We need other people's strengths to make our dreams into a reality. And so that is where the heart comes in, right? Allowing us to connect with other people, to ask for help when we need it, to listen to other people's ideas. And then, of course, to have that driving force behind what we're doing, so that even when things are hard, we can keep pushing through. Okay, I want you to take a moment, stack your hands and let the elbows go out wide, lower your forehead down towards your hands and rest here for just a moment. Maybe wiggle the hips left to right. Once we pass through the heart, we come down to our solar plexus, which is, of course, our powerhouse. So this is where we start to take action. So actionable steps to bring our dreams down into the earth plane. So we're going to tap into our personal power here for just a couple of moments. Okay. I want you to go ahead and come back up onto your forearms, elbows under shoulders, hands out in front. We're going to come into a forearm plank. We're just going to go for about 15-20 seconds, just stoking up that personal power. So you can have your hands flat on the mat, or if you want to interlace your fingers and have a fist package and press into the outer edges of the forearms, you could do that as well. I'm going to do that because of my arm injury. This is more comfortable for me. And then we're going to tuck the toes under, and on an inhale, start to lift abdomen, hips, thighs, knees. Come into your forearm plank. Breathe. Creating our dreams takes energy, it takes work, it takes power. We're tapping into that. Good. One more inhale. And on an exhale, lower the knees back down. Unroll all the way. We're going to come back down onto the belly and come into a couple versions of locust pose to keep tapping into the solar plexus here. So you can let your forehead come down to the mat. Arms can come down by your side, fingers reaching towards your feet. Okay. On an inhale, we're just going to lift our head and our chest off of the mat, activating through the abdomen and the lower back to do so. And then on the exhale, lower back down. Okay, we'll do that a couple of times. Inhale, head and chest up. Exhale, lower down. Feet are staying on the ground for this first one. Let's do that again. Inhale, head and chest up. Exhale, lower down. Okay, we're going to lift the lower half of the body now for full locust. So inhale, head, chest, legs, lift. Exhale, lower down. One more, just like that. Inhale, head, chest, legs. Exhale, lower down. Good. Bring your hands back towards the top. Stack them. Rest your forehead. Bend your knees so your feet go up towards the ceiling, and then windshield wiper the feet from side to side. Good. Bring the feet back to center. Extend the feet long behind you, legs long behind you. And we're just going to push back up to a tabletop for a few moments. So come back onto your hands and knees, okay? And what we're going to do here is start to tap into our sacral chakra. So as our dreams have funneled down, we've figured out what we wanted, we've made a plan, we've started to take action. Undoubtedly, there are going to be road bumps, there are going to be frustrations, there are going to be all sorts of things to try to make us stop, right? To try to keep us from achieving what we want to achieve. And that is where the sacral chakra comes in, right? So tapping into our creative side, our fun side, and really learning to go with the flow, you know? So instead of fighting what is happening, working with the energy that we've created, working with the flow we've created, getting creative when we need to try something new or figure something else out, And then, of course, balancing all of that work with fun, remembering to have fun and not make it all about work. So we're going to do a little cat, cow, child's pose flow here. So on an inhale, I want you to drop your belly, tilt your pelvis and chin up. Exhale, reverse. Chin to chest, curve the spine behind you. Now inhale again. Drop the belly, tilt pelvis and chin. Pelvis and chin tilt up. Exhale, child. And that's going to be our little sacral chakra flow. We inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, cow. Exhale, child. Two more, just like that. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. We all meet in child's pose here. Arms extended long. Head is down towards the mat. And we pause here for just a couple of moments. So starting to bring that energy down to the root chakra. This is where our dreams materialize. They come down to the earth plane and are created. So taking a moment to sort of ground our energy here in child's pose, connecting to that earth element, the root chakra element. This is where our energy is the most dense, right? So those ideas have come together and funneled down into a physical object or service or whatever it is we were creating. So from here, we're just going to slowly make our way to Shavasana or corpse pose. So however you want to get there, this is our last pose of class. And since we're ending with the root chakra, picking corpse pose seemed most appropriate, as this is really the most grounded we could get with our energy, to have the whole body connected to the mat, to the ground. So, invitation to close down the eyes and begin to notice all of the points of contact between your body and your mat. So really noticing that body to earth contact. And at each point, allowing yourself to grow heavy and sink into the surface beneath you. Just imagining ourselves being supported and held by the ground here. So not only supporting us physically, but supporting those dreams that we just created. After a journey like this, where we've manifested what we dreamed of, right? And these journeys could take weeks, months, years. It really depends on what you want to create, what you're building. But after a journey like this, we always want to make sure we take some time to celebrate ourselves, celebrate our wins, and allow ourselves time to just rest and restore before we move on to the next thing. So this is also why we are ending in Shavasana, a place where we can rest and recharge before we move on to the next journey. So I will leave you here in Shavasana. I hope that you enjoyed this manifestation journey through the chakras, and stay in Shavasana as long as you would like. And I will see you again soon. Namaste.